Welcome to our new episode of Hacking Society. We are in Sofia at the Legal Edge conference, where we are listening to exciting talks by leaders in the space of legal technology, legal services, and I have Richard and George with me, who are both active as lawyers and are also concerned with the profound transformation that the legal industry is going through due to digitalization. And we want to hear their opinion on what legal technology really means for the legal profession. I start with you, George. Maybe you tell us quickly, what do you do in your daily job, and how do you think legal technology will transform your work and the work of your profession?
I'm a lawyer, IT lawyer. The problems with the internet of the information technologies are my passion, expertise. I teach this in university as a professor, but also I'm a managing partner in one of the leading Bulgarian law firms called Dimitrov, Petrov & Co. And responsible in my firm for the technological development and sustainability of the firm. So practically we have to deal with technology. Actually, using technology could be understood in many senses when we speak about law firms. Use of technologies could help the law firm to develop. For example, the technology can help out in organizing the work of the lawyers, supervising the work of the lawyers, billing the work of the lawyers, counting the time spent, etc., etc. But also practically everything which from the legal work is created nowadays, it's all digital. It's all digital. So the law firms have to cope with the challenges of the realms of this internet, of this IT society. So keeping the secrets of the client, which is one of the the oldest oath that the lawyer gives, should take measures to organize, to keep, to secure. So practically this is another issue.
In the startup field of legal tech, right, which is like a buzzword today, there is often talks about disruption of the lawyers. From what you say, I don't really get a feeling of disruption. Would you say that's just not happening? That's just marketing by the startups, or what do you think?
Actually, that's my observation for the last year. The startups is something nice. It's a driving factor for the development of the society, but it cannot be applied per se. It cannot be applied for the legal world so easily, because in the legal profession, it is something that cannot be achieved that easily by technology. It is trust, and trust means people. Trust means knowing the person, trusting the person, revealing secrets, keeping secrets, which cannot be easily achieved by following the known models for startupping, for in different other sectors. So practically, I'm not quite disturbed about entering into the market of such terms like legal startups. This is not something that influences so hardly the legal profession.
Richard, you're a lawyer yourself.
Yep.
Tell us quickly, what are you doing as a lawyer, like concretely, and would you agree with George here that there's no disruption happening due to technology and law?
I'm a partner with Theiss, which is a Eastern European law firm across 12 countries, and I head up the TMT practice. I think as a business we're very conscious that law and the practice of law is changing. When I look at the entities helping in-house law teams, it's not only law firms, but it's also some of the large legal consultancy companies and IT companies. And there are instances where when you go in and you do due diligence, you see lots of documents and processing companies actually providing a lot of what 5 or 6 years ago lawyers might have done. So we are very conscious that there's certain types of the legal practice which are going to change. On the other hand, as George says, there's certain types of legal practice which I think are slightly more sort of protected from that legal change, very much when you're in a sort of trusted sort of advisor role, particularly for the larger sort of project financings, for the M&A, where you're really helping the client come to a sort of consensus with these sort of negotiation. And in fact, the sort of documentation is really just the end sort of result of the legal services provided. One of the, I think, big things that we're doing, which is not necessarily tech-based, but is managing quality. And within our firm, we have an internal sort of school of excellence where all of the lawyers and the non-legal staff go through various modules, talking about, of course, technical law, but also legal practice, legal quality, legal service. And then, can we implement some of that knowledge into a sort of technological solution? Possibly. But it's very important, of course, always for a law firm to ensure quality across the firm.
A lawyer is a human being. He judges how to solve different cases based on the knowledge, based on experience, based on thinking, cumulative way of thinking, based on consulting with colleagues. So this is the experience of other people. It is not that easy that someone can just challenge so easily the value of the legal service and the work of the lawyer as a lawyer. Again, I would say that there are different options nowadays available. Even there are some kind of software products that could generate automatic legal service. If I was a client, if you were a client, would you trust this? It's a question of what about a bank or a big insurance company or a merchant that deals with big money? Would he trust this? It's a question of thinking, which unfortunately or luckily not AI, not machines, not companies that do not know the law have the ability to provide.
George, on the stage just a few minutes back, you said, as like even your closing words, that law firms have to invest huge amounts of their capital essentially in technology and finding out how technology can aid them. Do you think that law firms ultimately have to become, in some sense, software development companies on their own? Should they have, employ programmers in high numbers to kind of become more digital? Or what kinds of investments have you been talking about right there?
Actually, our law firm has started by investing in own servers, on services online, own infrastructure, own cloud. We have hired several guys that were dealing with that, IT guys, system administrators. But at the end of the day, this doesn't happen to be a successful model. I mean, there are so many services that are now developed on the market on such competitive prices, and which actually there is no sense of investing in own technology. I mean, there are many things that can be used as a service, like cloud, service-oriented solutions that are provided by other law firms. Many things can be outsourced. So practically, it is. I wouldn't say that this is the right model to invest in own. So very complicated, very sophisticated technological solutions, but rather can be used other services to be outsourced to other companies that could provide such solutions.
I think legal technology is going to develop to a point where we as lawyers need to be aware that there are going to be different ways. One of the debates we're having within my firm is this: do we buy or do we develop? And at the moment we've done both, depending on different things. I think one positive part for our region, and I think this is an opportunity for some of the leading law firms here, is, you know, we're a relatively, let's say, cheap part of sort of Europe, and I think there's lots that we as law firms can do, even to actually provide outsourced services for some of the Western European law firms, not only on sort of Bulgarian law, but on more contract processing, etc. So I think there are opportunities for this. Are we replaceable? Well, what we do might be replaceable, but certainly, hopefully, we'll see the opportunities to grow.
Richard, you're not originally from Eastern Europe. Yeah. You come from Great Britain. Mm-hmm. You know both markets. How is legal practice in the Eastern European market better or less better suited for legal technology and the changes that it brings to this market?
I think obviously the benefit of the UK and the sort of US is a much larger legal sector, and also a common sort of jurisdiction and one common language. And within Theiss, I think one of the challenges we face when we're talking about sort of technology is how to be sort of more efficient whilst dealing with 13 jurisdictions and 13 different languages. So I think what we'll see is, particularly for some of the machine learning elements, they will develop in the UK first, simply because there's a broader suite of sort of documents on which they can learn from. There's a sort it's easier to link to the court system to get to precedents. In Eastern Europe, there's no way to connect into the sort of judicial system yet to really get the precedents. And I think language will mean that it is slightly slower. That produces both an opportunity and a challenge. The challenge, of course, is that as the legal technology sector develops in the UK, that will be the expectation. The expectation will be that the practice of law is more efficient. It is using systems, and I think, you know, within the non-Anglo-Saxon countries, there is going to be a sort of element where sort of clients' sort of expectations might be sort of slightly ahead of what we might be able to be sort of delivering. But certainly, it's a hot topic for us, and you know, we have some of our own sort of developed software, and we're also, of course, looking mainly to buy as a service.
George, you said you're also teaching. How should the education of young lawyers change in order to reflect those kinds of transformational changes that we're seeing through technology?
It's a very good question, actually, because the universities, the education system of education, should realize that nowadays a lawyer shouldn't be only aware of the law, but also should be aware somehow to technology. I mean, how should I collect electronic evidence? What is an electronic evidence? Where is concluded an electronic contract? Against which law they should be justified? So these are questions that does not only require legal knowledge, they require some technical background. So practically the legal education should definitely change, or should definitely open doors for new knowledge to lawyers. I don't believe that a lawyer nowadays could be a good lawyer if he only knows the law.
How about those lawyers that are already practicing, but that are not old enough to be just, well, it doesn't concern me anymore, I can survive the next 5 years and then I'm out? How about those lawyers? Should law firms provide educational programs to those lawyers? Are you doing that? Are you doing that, Richard?
Definitely. In Bulgaria, luckily, we have with a bar, there is a school for lawyers, for attorneys, which constantly organizes and courses in different aspects of trust services, of electronic identity, electronic e-commerce, e-governance, practically to prepare the lawyers and to give an option for those that are eager to catch up with the new realms, to be able to educate themselves. So this is something very nice. Same we can see in the school of for judges, for magistrates, there are lots of programs nowadays. In the universities, I would say that it is a bit underestimated. Still, lots need to be done, so that better programs to be developed and taught to lawyers. So there is something to be done. Of course, there is always a question of choice. If a lawyer doesn't want to get into these realms, how he could handle cases where his client, they use technologies, how he would defend their interest. So it's a question of choice.
Yeah, within our firm, as I say, we have a very sort of comprehensive sort of internal school, a large part of which is non-technical law, and it's very much focused upon as a project management, client service, client quality as a deliverable. I think generally the legal profession will adapt. Currently, I think we expect lawyers to do everything. So the people who make partner are both very good technical lawyers and very good business developers and very good deliverable people. And the history of as a profession is that we sort of really expect people to have sort of expertise within that stack. As we go forward, I think it's going to just be the nature that we are going to accept different specializations. So people will be better project managers and they will be client acquisition, better technical lawyers. And so I think we are going to be more adaptable within our structures to say that we need a sort of specialisation for, say, a sort of programme management, and then we actually train people with a legal background, but then to focus on that area. So I think there'll be more opportunity within the legal profession. It won't just be the single career route. I actually think it will be positive for the next generation coming up. They'll be able to have that legal background but have different routes within the same profession.
Thank you guys for answering those questions.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for watching this episode of our Hacking Society podcast from Sofia. Please subscribe to our channel, leave comments, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and spread the message.